Good morning. I just felt to get on here today and just speak some words of encouragement, speak some words of you'll be okay. Um, I know that when you're in an abusive relationship and you get out of an abusive relationship, you start looking at yourself different. You start asking yourself questions. You start saying to yourself, why did I stay? What was I thinking? You start accusing yourself, blaming yourself, saying that you was the reason why that this happened to you and you could have got out. Why didn't you get out? You play the blame game, and it's a game that you're playing, and you're accusing yourself of what happened to you, and you're saying that to yourself. If I was just a better woman, better individual, maybe this wouldn't have happened to me. And you get into a place in your life where you're looking at life so different. You're looking at yourself so different. You just get up and you look in the mirror and you question yourself. Why did I stay? I don't understand why I stayed. And you cry. You're going to have lots of days where you're going to cry, where you're going to hurt. And I'm not going to say that you shouldn't do that, cry. Release, the Lord gave you tear ducts for a reason. Um, you need to release because as long as you keep not speaking about it, crying about it, you're just destroying your insides. You're getting more bitter and angry. And there's nothing wrong with crying. I cried in many days because I just could not understand. I played the blame game. I blamed myself. I start telling myself, why didn't you see the signs? You should have recognized the signs. Why did you stay? I beat myself up many days. I accuse myself of being just what he said, a nobody, a nothing, an individual that nobody would ever want. I played that name calling game. I played that um, blame game. I played it, and I was the top winner in it because when I got up, I played that game. I thought about what happened. I seen it. I rehearsed it in my mind. I kept trying to pinpoint. Well, why I should have recognized something right then and there, the first slap. I should have recognized something right then in the first being cussed out, being talked about, being abused. Um, I should have just said to myself, leave, run, get away from it. It's not going to get any better. But I didn't do that. I didn't hear that. All I heard was it's going to get better. If you do this or if you do that, don't fuss back. Don't say anything. It'd be all right. Because when you say something, it seemed to have gotten worse, and then when you didn't say anything, it seemed to get worse. So you didn't know what to do. You didn't know how to perform. You didn't know how to act. You didn't know. You just didn't know. And like I said, it's okay to cry. Those tears are healing. You're crying and you're releasing the pressure that's within your heart, within your mind, within your spirit. You have to let it go. And it may take a while because it took me a while to let it go. It took me a while to trust. It took me a while to recognize that I was somebody. It took me a while to recognize that it wasn't my fault. It wasn't nothing that I did wrong. It was what he felt, what he thought, what he believed. And I talked to myself a lot saying, when I should have said, no, I don't want to have sex with you, or should have told him exactly how I was feeling, but that wouldn't have worked. Been there, done that, tried that. And it seemed like the sex got even harder. It was like um, if I mentioned anything about you're hurting me, it was just like he had a fantasy and it made him feel better that I was hurting. You know, I couldn't let him see the tears. I couldn't question him. So I would bring that up, and once I left him, I would bring that up. I would bring it up to the surface. Why? What's wrong with you? Why did you allow that to happen? Why didn't you just let go? Why didn't you just say, "Please stop"? I'm sorry. I done that. I said I was sorry, whatever I did wrong. And then he got even more upset with me because he was saying I did something I'm apologizing for. So, no matter what I said or how I said it, I was doing something wrong. If I apologize, he got upset with me and said, "Oh, you're apologizing because you did it. Oh, you're apologizing because you didn't have sex with somebody. Oh, you're apologizing. And then if I cry, oh, you crying because you prefer the other man that you had sex with to have sex with you and not me, and you're mad about it. If I smile, oh, this is funny to you because I'm not doing it the way he does it. I mean, everything I was being accused of. I didn't know how to look. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know if I need to smile, cry, laugh, because whatever I did, it was wrong. I was wrong. So I thought about that, once I left him, and I accused myself. I went through a battle depression. I had a fear of men. So I didn't walk with my head up. I walked with my head down. I tried not to have eye contact with no man. Oh my God, no. I tried to watch the words that came out of my mouth, how I said it, when I said it. I was going through a battle in my mind. It was unbelievable. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know how to release the anger that I had, the bitterness, the hate. All I knew it was there. And I experienced it every day. I felt it every day. But I had to go on. I had to not give up because my children needed their mother. And I had to keep going. I had to push back the struggles. I had to push the fear, the hate, the disappointment, the bitterness. I had to push it down and try not to think about it. I did everything that I could think of to be happy, and it just didn't seem to work. I just wanted to escape, just wanted to run, wanted to hide, but I had to be strong for my children. And yeah, you're going to have days where you're going to think about what you went through once you get out of the relationship. Even if you're in a relationship, you're going to think about, you're going to start disliking yourself, looking at yourself as something other than what you are, accusing yourself of you enjoying what you're going through. That's how come you're staying here. I did that too. I was telling myself, well, you like what he's doing to you. Because if you didn't like it, you would leave. Anybody in their right mind would leave. I wasn't in my right mind. Whatever he wanted, I didn't have no choice. So I did it. Whatever he felt like doing, I allowed him to do it. I would never tell his mother, his sisters, anybody what was going on behind them closed doors. Because I felt if I did that, they would look at me in a certain kind of way. They would say, oh, my brother's not like that. They would be on the offense against their brother. They would look at me as, well, you must be doing something. Well, my brother, he wasn't raised that way. He's not like that. They would defend their brother. They wouldn't defend me. So I knew I couldn't say anything. When I was around them, I played the game of I'm okay. And deep down inside, I wasn't. I'm thinking that somebody be able to pick up something, but he never allowed them to see the other side of him. He allowed them only to see the good side. I've seen that every now and then. I'm not saying that throughout the 11 years that I was with this man, um, he abused me. He knew, abuser knows how to maintain, how to keep you exactly what to do and what to say. They know that if this was a constant every single day, 24 hours a day, you would leave. So it wasn't every day. We had good days. We did things together, you know. But when he started drinking, it seemed like all hell broke loose. That's when he started accusing me of stuff, you know. And then when I was with the minister, there was never no accusation. He never accused me and never talked about me. He never belittled me. But he knew deep down inside that he really didn't love me. He was stringing me along. Why? I don't know. Why he did what he did, I don't know. Because once he sent, put that letter underneath my door, he disappeared. Changed his number. I couldn't reach him. If I wrote him a letter to try for him to try to, tell me what's going on, it came back, you know. So I didn't know how to reach him. He disappeared once he did what he did. He disappeared. I was on my own once again to repair me. So, like I said, you're going to have days where your past is going to come back to you. You're going to see things. You're going to feel things. You're going to hear things in your mind. You're going to have days where you're going to accuse yourself. You're going to belittle yourself. You're going to talk about yourself. You're going to hate yourself. You're going to cry. There's nothing wrong with crying. Like I said, you need to cry to get it off. Because if you don't cry, that stress, your heart can't take it. I cried. I screamed in my pillow. I looked in the mirror. I told myself off. Called myself stupid, ugly, ignorant, ridiculous, fool, stupid. Every negative word, I spoke it to myself. I talked about myself. And in days, I try not to think about it when I need to, do things with my children, be a mother to them, do things with them at school, during the weekend. I had to put my feelings aside. I had to put that hurt aside so they didn't have to experience any kind of hurt because I'm hurting. I didn't want them to experience any negative thing. I didn't want them to feel any disrespect or hate, or didn't want them to feel that they weren't anything. I lifted my kids up, my children up. I never wanted them to know what I went through because I didn't want them. I didn't want, mainly my girls, I didn't want my girls to look at men like I looked at them. So I didn't talk about men. I would lift people up. I would lift, when their father refused to have anything to do with them, I still told them to love him. Never stop loving your father. And my son, like I said, wasn't born the time that I was going through the abuse. And I never told them about the abuse. That was my secret. I had a little house that I went into, and that house was my tunnel that I sat in. And all the anger, depression, the thoughts was in that tunnel. And I sat there in that tunnel, in that house I called a tunnel, and went down memory lane and thought about it, rehearsed it. And I came out that tunnel. I didn't throw that key away because I knew I needed to, until I was delivered from how I was feeling. I would open up that door, go sit in that chair and scream and yell and talk about myself when my kids were at school, so they wouldn't experience the frustration, the sadness, the bitterness that I was experiencing. So that tunnel I kept around, that little house that I went into, I kept it around. I kept the key. I didn't throw the key away because I knew I had to release it. And then when I eventually said I can't do this any longer, I took the key of that tunnel and I threw it away. And I fought daily to forgive myself, because that's what I went through, a period where I couldn't forgive myself for allowing what this man did to me. So I just want to take this time to say, I understand your days of crying, your days of frustration, your days of accusing yourself, but don't stay there long. Take them baby steps. I got to get away from this. I got to get away from this. I got to get delivered. I need to get out of this. And if you have somebody that you could truly, truly trust, talk to them. Because you will be healed the more you talk about what you went through, the more you talk about how you felt, the more you talk about releasing it. You're cutting off them roots and you're being healed from the inside out. So don't give up. If you cry, that's all right. I cried. You get upset, that's all right. I've been there. I understand. And I just wanted to take this time to say, it's all right. And remember, God loves you, and so do I. Be blessed and have a great day. And remember, if you ever want to talk to me, have an interview, you can email me at beingmsdiva@gmail.com and we can have an interview. Have an awesome day. And thank you for taking the time out to listen. I just want to encourage someone today. Some single woman, you got this. You are somebody. Be blessed.